What's up, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I am giving you 10 tips of how to get better with your aim in Warzone. Now, before I give you tips, you gotta subscribe. If you don't subscribe, I can't give you tips, unfortunately. I'm gonna give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you're not subscribed, you can't get the tips. But if you are subscribed, here are 10 tips that help you aim in Warzone. Now, first tip is your sensitivity. Now, some people say that they can rock with low sensitivity and still do fine in Warzone. Thing is, that ain't the case, because you can actually have better aim if you change up your sensitivity. Now, I personally have it. I have 4 for the horizontal and vertical stick sensitivity. For the 80 sensitivity multiplier, low zoom, I have it 1.5. Same with the high zoom. Now, you do want to have control vibration if you're a controller player like me. You gotta turn that off, because it just gets annoying after a while. And for the aim response curve type, do dynamic. It'll feel weird in the first few hours of using it, but you'll get used to it. Another thing is in here. Oh. Turn world motion blur and weapon motion blur off, because you'll see more if you have them off if you do have them on. So that's a little tip for you. Now, let's head into some other tips by future me. Thanks, past me, for telling about the sensitivity. Now I'm going to go on to tell you what the second tip, which is the blue dot. Now, if you use this, it's going to be a lot more clear when you aim, because you don't have all of that excess blur that is all around your optic. And it is especially used when you're using a Corp Combat Halo sight. Now, it does take a little while for you to unlock this, but once you unlock it, it's going to be an absolute beast. And, well, how to unlock it? Well, if you don't have multiplayer, it's going to be a bit of a struggle. But if you do have multiplayer, it's going to be surely easy for you. But you only have to get 200 kills with each optic, plus 50 headshot kills, and 150 kills before. Well, no. 3 kills before you die 150 times. So that is my second tip. Now, my third tip, it's not really based on accuracy, but it's based more on damage. Now, you know how there's limb damage, where it does a certain amount of damage to arm, legs, upper chest, and lower chest? Well, assault rifles do not do that. They only go with the chest damage and the headshot damage. So if you hit the chest, it'll be this. So if you hit the arms, it'll be the same damage as you shooting the chest. And headshots are basically headshots. So it's not really an accuracy thing, but it's just a fun fact. So this is tip number 3. Now the next tip for you guys is about the recoil. Now, you gotta use like a pattern in order to control your gun. Plus, you also need to do certain builds for those guns. Those are out on my channel. So, those builds you can use from my channel, or it doesn't really matter who you use it from, but you gotta use it like there's a pattern of how to use it. You see tons of pro players using this pattern, which is basically like controlling it, your gun, like moving back and forth, and moving your camera from to different angles. So yeah, that's tip number 4 for you guys. Now, my 5th tip of how to get better aim is by mounting. Now, I don't use this commonly, but you should use it when somebody's in the open, when you have the chance to, because it'll be a lot better aim, because you can the lasering it from that area down to the opponent and get those kills with it easy to get. So tip number 6 is only applied to controller players. Now, this has to do, of course, with aim assist. Now, there are 4 types of aim assist that you can do. You can have it off, of course. You can have the standard, which is traditional aim assist. Nothing special about that. Precision, which is best for accurate players. It's strong aim slowdown that only kicks when aiming down to target, and focusing it, which is for new players. It's strong aim slowdown that also kicks in when normally missing target. So figure out what type of aim assist that you want to rock first, but you can switch to other aim assist later on. Now, for tip number 7, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the recoil. Now, you gotta figure out what kind of class setup that fits your recoil status. Now, I personally like to have a little bit less recoil than its standardly hands, but you gotta figure out what kind of recoil it fits you and try it out constantly so that you get used to the gun and be better at aiming it so that you can laser down at those opponents. Now, for tip number 8, we're going to go back to tip number 2, I believe, which is about the optics and iron sights. Now, you gotta figure out what kind of aiming stability you want for your gun. Now, some guns you don't even have to put an optic on it, but you gotta fit what has your perspective. So the optics that I really suggest are the Corp Combat Halo Sight, which is what I'm using in this video, or the VLK optic. Both of them are laser from long range and mid range. So yeah. Now, for tip number 9 is about practicing your recoil with the gun. Now, it's not specifically on the recoil, but the pattern of how the gun works. Now, what I suggest doing for this one is going into private matches. Maybe you could bring your friends with you as well to figure out what kind of pattern you want to go for your gun, and figure it out and use the gun constantly. Don't just use it once and think that you're automatically good with it. No. Keep on using it, and you'll see your changes dramatically. Now, for the last tip of the day is focusing on your target. But you can't focus too hard, or else you'll have enemies from the back and the sides and any other direction shooting at you. Now, you can't focus. Well, you have to focus on the opponent, but don't go tunnel vision where all that you focus on is target and not your surroundings. So, that's my last tip. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Smash that like button if you did. And, yeah. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care and peace.